Kyle here from All Media Reviews, here to do a review. I mean, I know it's kind of belated since it's not a new release or anything, of the EP that EP mini album I've been listening to frequently over the last couple, at least the last month and a half. The British band from Cambridge, Ugly, new band, and just reading a little bit about their history, their origins, and say they, like 4 or 5 members. They technically formed in 2016, I guess, but they had just released. So they released an EP actually in 2016 called None the Wiser, which I've not heard. And they have been releasing like singles over the years, 17, 18, 19, 22. One of the songs that's on this EP. Their new EP is called Twice Around the Sun. I mean, again, it's more like a mini album, but I guess it's an EP. Samuel Goater, who has a solo album of his own that came out in 2016 called Dire, which I haven't heard either, but I'm curious to hear. But he's the vocalist and the guitarist. Harrison Jones is one of the guitarists. Charlie Wayne, now this is the biggest connection why people made the comparisons. He's the drummer. He was the drummer. Okay, that's interesting. He's not currently still the drummer, I guess, but he was in, so I'm not sure he's even on this EP. Might have been on some of the previous stuff, though. He's a member of Black Country New Road and Black Midi. So Harry Shapiro is the bassist, the current bassist. They had a previous bassist named Brody Weir. Tom Lane's the keyboardist and vocalist, 2019 to the present, too. And then Jasmine Miller Sacella. It's keyboard, vocals, trumpet, since 2019. So it sounds like they were like a separate group, and before 2019, and then 2019, 2020, a bunch of people came in and out. And then I'm just looking at Rate Your Music. Theo Guttenplan plays drums since the present, so maybe he replaced Charlie Wayne. So anyway, so I'm going to get into this, and for an EP, and it shouldn't be super long. I want to do this. I want to do a review of Willow as well. And I thought I had this pulled up, and I don't. Wait, what about this? Was this it? Yes, okay. So this EP, and I guess it is Twice Around the Sun, it came out in April. It is only 6 tracks. The Wheel, which is 7 minutes and 26 seconds. Shaw, which is 3:35. Icy Windy Sky, which is 6 minutes and 49 seconds. Shepherd's Carol, the 4th track, is 5 minutes 11 seconds. Hands of Man, which is 5 minutes and 6 seconds. And then the last track, I'm Happy You're Here, which was a single, which is 8 minutes and 2 seconds. So, okay, just get into it. The Wheel, the first track. The first, 2-3 minutes, it's kind of a cappella, but it kind of builds a little bit like what Gentle Giant did, of course, and Kevin Gilbert did on Suit Fugi, the Dance of the A&R Man, where you get one vocal layer and another chime away. It sounds like they're saying chime a sign, and then big feet tiger, like tiger, kind of like how Yes announced, like Trevor Horn on Machine Messiah. We're into the fire, almost a British accent on the word tiger. But there's many vocal layers. Love the fast staccato drumsticks you hear throughout many tracks on this, but this is about 3 minutes into it, about 2.5, 3 minutes into it when you get more than just the a cappella part of it. But so then they start doing this phrase that goes, "I don't want the sycamore, I don't care anymore," and then the border war. I will lay the wreath. Oh yeah, so it repeats that with the kind of just organic sounding drumstick. I don't want the sycamore, I don't care anymore. Very much of this song and many tracks on their style. It's the vocals are being sung as they are, the words they're using, the lyrics they're using, for the way they sound as opposed to what they necessarily mean on the song The Wheel and some other songs on this EP. But so then later we get another vocal part that goes, "I will lay the wreath around you," and that part is slower, and then it starts to pick up and repeat, I will lay the wreath around you." got this great build and energy, and there's more instrumentation than just the vocals, of course, at this point, and the drums. This song just flows. I mean, once you get past the first couple of minutes, I know it's sort of listening to it over and over again. You have to kind of deal with the fact that the first couple of minutes is just a bunch of vocals, but Dance in the Air and Our Man works on Shame of the True. I think it's fine. I'm not totally bugged by it. I mean, if it was like 5 minutes of vocal, like a cappella, it might be much. It's a couple minutes. So anyway, but this song totally works. It totally builds. So anyway, the second track, Shah, is 3:35. Kind of starts out slow and methodical, a little trippy. The female vocals are more featured on it. But you get this phrase, "I'm not your rang gake yo." See, again, the vocals sound like they're singing words just for how they sound as opposed to what they mean. I mean, even the word Shah doesn't really mean anything. I'm not your rang gake yo. I'm not your rang gake. Then Shah, 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 Shah. But it's very happy. Again, with the even with the gibberish lyrics, it's a very uplifting track. Some organ textures toward the end, another part that really stands out to me. So then we get to the third track, Icy Windy Sky, which is 6 minutes and 49 seconds. Very acoustic, very much the pastiche of like 70s acoustic. I mean, I just was talking about Miracle last week. It's not quite like that, but I think of that Up and Away or the Carpenters or something like that when I hear this at points. Or the other one that I think of a little bit actually is A Pillow of Winds from Pink Floyd. Very soothing, dreamy, acoustic, kind of mellow but not boring. Bright, calming, smooth, nice rhythm with the acoustic guitar, and then the vocal harmonies. I see a windy sky, I know that I haven't got the time, I know that, and then there's some whistlings. They repeat that frequently, but it just flows and it sounds so good. The vocals sound really, they have really good voices. They harmonize really well, which, you compare them to the Brixton bands and the post-punk stuff of like Black Country New Road or even Black Midi. Even Squid to some degree. Better singers. These guys are much better singers for the most part. At least on these songs, the arrangements. There's some whistling. And I think of Pillow Winds from Pink Floyd, from of course, the metal record. The male and female vocal harmonies just work so well. And then you hear some cello in the background at points. The atmosphere just works. The echoing vocals, it's so dreamy. Some chanting that's featured. I know that It's really just, yeah, I mean, they could be saying anything. It would sound good because it's so mesmerizing. It sounds very 70s-ish, though. The build towards the second half gets a little heavier. You do get a little bit of electric guitar, although it's not up front, but... and then you have like a lead bass line. This is about midway through, I guess. Yeah, in the second half. Then you hear that, I see a windy sky, bye-bye, oh bye-bye. And then later he says a few things, and I didn't catch it all, but sights running in my eyes. And it's the male vocals. You do get the female. The female vocals on this are more harmonies. But most of the vocals are double and triple track though. But I think the male vocalist. I don't know if it's go back to if it's Samuel Goater, probably is. He's got a little bit more of a dominant voice, at least on some of these songs, including this one. But definitely a highlight on this record. Icy Windy Skies. It's an earworm. I have that in my head going on for hours, days after it. So the fourth track, Shepherd's Carol. Yeah, I did mention. Okay. There's a light hi-hat pattern. I mean, yeah, the drummer's definitely not playing heavy. It's using a lot of acoustic elements. But yeah, there's a hi-hat pattern that's very rhythmic with the guitar. It works at the end of Icy Windy Skies. So anyway, going on to the fourth track, Shepherd's Carol. It's 5 minutes, 11 seconds. The opening fast acoustic guitar really works. Then you get this electric guitar riff. And then you get like this section that sounds like chromatic scales on an acoustic guitar. I think it's an acoustic guitar. I'm not certain. But because sometimes you have these guys that are actually playing electric. They say acoustified, even John Petrucci. But it's actually an electric guitar, but it sounds acoustic. But it almost has like a twangy sound to it. But But then you get a mixture of this lead bass lines with some synthesizers, which kind of create some cool atmosphere. So the phrase "Sing Caroline," both male and female vocals harmonizing, and then the lines four wheel drive," just repeated frequently. And later you get the lyrics, "I'm gonna kill, I'm gonna kill, I'm gonna kill," which kind of makes me wonder if this lyrics are sort of about someone who's like seeking revenge or a car crash or something, or is talking about two different characters. I don't know, Shepherd's Carol's referring to. I have to look it up. There's probably a Google would probably give some references, but you get a darker guitar solo sort of over some vocals. I mean, the guitar solo is like up front at the beginning while he's singing, "I'm gonna kill, I'm gonna kill," and he's singing it kind of high, like, "I'm gonna kill, I'm gonna kill," you know. It's kind of contrasting where it's a dark topic singing in a happy way. Mew have done that. Bubble Math have done that. A lot of bands have done that. Even the Kind City, the Kind City album kind of has that sort of contrasting moods where something very dark, happy, you know, chanted at the end of, you know, in a happy way. But I kind of wonder if this is like a revenge song. Kind of reminds me of like the Rain Akindo's "Breathe Again." It's like he's trying to get revenge. It's, you know, it's a hymn telling a story. But anyway, I like Shepherd's Carol. If there's a weakest song on this album, it might be it, but I still like it a lot. Anyway, so the fifth track, "Hands of Man," 5 minutes and 6 seconds, sort of starts out with this sort of post-punk the Black Country New Road element seems to be present. I know they did that a little bit with Squid too, where they're just kind of, it's almost like not Tom Waits, but Leonard Cohenish, where they're not really singing, just kind of talking almost in a way, which is one thing that's kind of repulsed me about Black Country Road on their last record. But anyway, I don't think it really hurts this song that much, because you get the keys, you get nice guitar parts, it's calming with the drums, it sounds like brushes actually, so it's kind of jazzy. And then eventually you get some vocal harmonies. The chords on the keys sound really progressive. Yeah, this is more of a quirky, some like minor keys on this, but it's very kind of busy at points. It comes across very prog. I'm not sure if it's keys or guitar, but vocals almost sound like, yeah, it's a little bit like Brian Jacobs of Mason Andrews, a singer who I love, but at points on Blood Moon he's kind of like, he's kind of singing like that, which those vocals grew on me, which kind of sounds weird because I don't like the vocals, you know, from Black Country New Road that much, but it sounds like they're sort of pissed off vocals building to sort of in a way to layers that are clean, like chanting harmonies. Kind of the rhythms, some of like the way things that you don't expect, some of the twists, the time signature changes on this song make it progressive. The times, let's see, this become, the phrase toward the end, "The times become your only friend. As you strive, you struggle." The times, he holds out the S on that, "become your only friend." Or maybe he's saying the time, or time. And the "become your only friend" is become your only friend. It's not, just become your only friend. It's almost like a triplet. But, I like "Hands of a Man," or "Hands of Man," rather. So then the last track is "I'm Happy You're Here," which the first few times I listened to this EP, I wasn't feeling this song at all. But it's kind of like a Bring It On Home thing from Zeppelin, where it builds and leads to such a great part that you kind of, the beginning part that kind of goes slow grows on you. So, I mean, you could say it's a little bit like the first track, too, in a way, The Wheel. Although The Wheel with the vocal, the acapella is just more, kind of, at least it catches my attention more from an energy standpoint at the beginning. But, no, so, okay, it starts out with gentle acoustic guitar and then clean guitar and then these speaking vocals like Black Country New Road. Kind of plots along for a couple of minutes again, but I'm happy you're here. Piano comes in later. It's in a minor key, but then the saxophone, you hear the saxophone coming around 3 minutes and 30 seconds around that point. Still, there's speaking vocals, but then the vocals seem to work better with the music, and they start to get layers. With the harmonies, "I've come a long way to destroy you. Just be thankful to avoid you. Just be thankful to go. I'm happy you're here. Whoa." Kind of drug-induced, trippy sounding in a way. Kind of like, I was thinking like Dirty Projectors in a way, it sounds like. But then around 5 minutes and 22 seconds, the song is 8 minutes and whatever it is, 8 minutes and 2 seconds. So it's a little over halfway through. You get this acoustic guitar with female vocals, and it starts to build, and it slowly builds with the sax, and it just gets bigger and bigger. The tempo picks up around 6.5 minutes. Many vocal layers and more sax. It's very jazzy, and it's very like uplifting sounding. The line, I've been when the curtain calls. Well, I actually copied the lyrics from, I looked it up. I've been left to grow down into the snow. We could watch it fall. Kid the curtain call. Again, that doesn't really make sense from a grammatical standpoint, but again, it's how it sounds as opposed to what it's supposed to mean. Roads, they seemed so small from the backseat crawl. Yeah, I mean, it's not my favorite track on it, but I guess it's probably got the best moment. The best moment on the whole EP or whatever, mini album, is the ending of this song. I'm happy you're here. But, so, yeah, I mean, again, it's a couple of months old. And I was curious about this band. I know the Needle Drop even reviewed it. I haven't watched his review because I'm reservations about the guys. I really just don't care. But, I mean, I think he gave it a pretty good review. But, Ugly, I mean, yeah, and the previous connections, the slight comparisons to Black Country. Now, if, they were hanging out with the Squid guys, more comparisons to Squid, I would be even more on board. But I'm very curious to see what Ugly's going to do next. But this is a 36-minute EP, so is it any? I mean, yeah, there's definitely some of my favorite EPs. I think the Fiacre, Infinite, what is it, Thought Steps, I think that EP is like 36 minutes, or 30-some-odd minutes. I mean, there's definitely EPs that are 30 minutes. By comparison, I'm going to talk about the Willow record probably tomorrow. That record's only 32 minutes, and it's actually considered a full length, so I don't know. I mean, it's going to be on my list by the end of the year. I don't care if it's an EP or a full length. Have you heard the Ugly EP, Twice Around the Sun? Again, it's the second one, so I got to hear the first one. I want to hear this guy from the band, Samuel Gocher's solo record, too, at some point. I don't know if the style is similar or different. Called Dire. Came out in 2016. Bit indie rock, jangle pop, and bedroom. The bedroom pop. I think that some of the music on here fits that whole term of bedroom pop. Although the early Cloud Cult stuff has been described that way, which some of that is hit and miss. Some of it is fantastic. Some of it sounds very like stripped down and just like of its budget. But I think there's a bedroom. The whole description of bedroom with the vocal harmonies and the acoustic nature of some of the percussion and like. That word bedroom pop kind of fits in this, even though that's his solo record. I don't know if Ugly's, this EP is really regarded that way, but I'm going to have to check out None the Wiser EP if I can find it. I don't know if it's on Spotify. I kind of think it isn't. It might be on YouTube, though, but that's only 4 tracks in 15 minutes. That's a more traditional length EP, but yeah, if you've heard it, I'd love to hear your take, but if you've never heard it, I mean, comparisons to, say, the Deer Hunter, Bent Knee, Gentle Giant, XTC... you name some of the other bands that use percussion, Anathello a little bit. I thought of even Najee. I was thinking, but I don't know. The vinyl, unfortunately, it costs almost as much money, if not more money, to ship it than the price, which isn't that unusual because it's shipping from the UK. But yeah, big thumbs up on the Ugly P Twice Around the Sun. That's why I was in my top 5 records in the first half. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.